pool where that statue was.
Yeah.
Jericho approached, took a knee, said the words, but nothing changed. Only, I think we all started feeling vertigo, correct?
No, only some of us. It was Lucian and Doran.
Yeah.
Because they have high int. Clint, because he's
Jericho.
punched in the head. Jericho, because you had the artifact in question.
I think
It was
Seraph
kind of-
eventually felt it.
Yeah, it was kind of those that were able to perceive that something was wrong, which ended up not being Bradford and who else? Wait, actually, was
Two?
Bradford the only one that wasn't affected by it?
Two, probably.
Yes, two.
Yeah.
Which, you know, probably the best thing that can happen out of failing a check, right? You don't get vertigo and nausea.
Don't get madness.
While we were coping with that, someone did approach from, I believe it's the Blood Cloaks path, the one that leads to their barracks. Introduced himself as
Floyd.
Floyd.
Because we kept making. Is it Floyd Friday?
Yeah, Floyd Friday.
No, actually, on Tuesday.
actually,
It's like, are you kidding?
Tuesday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a maybe too casual conversation with us. Somewhat veiled, not threat, but opposite of that. He basically he conceded to us. We knew all too well that he was one of the weekdays, and he wanted to cut and run. He basically wanted our assurance that we'd let him. Is that correct?
Seems right.
Yeah. So threats came out against him, but before they could be acted upon, I hit him with Charm Person.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then we talked to him, and it's just like, hey, listen, man. We have something coming up tomorrow. Your job is done. We don't need to drag this out. And he's like, sure. We got some information from him on, not necessarily the whereabouts, because, again, Charm Person is only, an acquaintance, not, like, dying, like, undying servant level of loyalty. So he didn't reveal their positions, but he's like, I'm getting out of here. Job's done. Shouldn't have taken this job anyways. It didn't pay enough. We were paid ahead of time, but our convoy got tagged, so might be down to some money. I did get a business card from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a broker
to an in between. Yeah,
the neutral ground in the underworld.
Meet on neutral ground, part on neutral ground. Don't follow each other after the meeting.
Yep. So he took his leave after we asked him questions, and then once he left, we're back to the reason we came into the room, which is the fountain and the peculiar vertigo that we're now, well, not all facing, but most facing. Quint had caught that the room was on a slope, even though the perception of it, or the actual truth of it, I don't know, it was that it's just a flat floor, and then he proceeded to walk up the slope like fucking Chris Angel, floating to the people that could perceive it. Lucian being one such person that could perceive it, and the cognitive dissonance that it gave him a huge migraine. His nose began bleeding, and then he was like, I can't take any more of this, and began to tap out along with Doran, who was in the corner, also severely disoriented. Before we took our leave of the fountain statue room, Quint did look up and saw the dead lights. Not the first time we've seen him, so I guess that makes me a double Legionnaire. Take that, Grand Watcher. And for it, I got an awesome T-shirt and 2 points of madness.
Yeah, right for the exhibition. But it's not like anyone here is gonna give us madness, right?
I hope not. And also he fainted.
Yep.
Just threw him over his shoulder, like,
Strongman
all right.
Bradford picked him up. Yep. And we made our way not to the direct south because Jericho had spotted a not White Watchman, a hunter killer lying in wait So we decided to take the scenic route back to our barracks, as if that would get a hunter killer off our tail if he was even tailing us.
Oh, we did tell Floyd to take the roundabout way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because,
Or something
around the time he
was
was
worked him.
yeah, around the time he was leaving, he was heading towards the path that led to our barracks, which is where the hunter killer was. So
The hunter killer might have been there for him, not us.
yeah, more likely, but you never know.
Yeah. Why test it?
It could have been that he was there to kill anyone. Just watch us.
True.
No way of knowing. But yeah, we went to the gardens where we recouped, talked a little bit. What was that Doran had said? Didn't he comment on something?
He did.
I think I was AFK
Touching
That's
on
right,
at
yeah.
that point.
if these were the trials your ancestors had to go through,
Mhm.
it's no wonder we're in the situation we are.
Right. Okay, I wasn't for this.
Didn't have nearly as many preparations, nearly as many things on their side as we have right now. So the fact that our ancestors had to go up against what we saw, what we felt in all of its not glory, but all of its
Hidden
horror.
influence.
Yeah, it's no wonder we're in this situation now. But then we broke up in groups of two, headed back to the barracks on our own time, leaving Bradford and Clint in the garden. Right as Clint came to, you had to talk with Michael, or not Michael,
William.
William. Thank you.
Guardsman? No, what? It's too much 40k. Watchman, William, the sole survivor from his class, likely contended for commandership. The long and short of it was that Quinn was trying to get him to meet once more his long-lost siblings of Grimwold and Zoe. But he wasn't having it, but mostly because he didn't trust Quint, and that's fair given that Quint has, he's like a madman. Literally with 2 points of madness.
To make himself suspicious. to
Yeah.
him, anyway.
And, Quint tried to push for it, but he's not going to force it because that just makes things worse. So, that ended where it was. And we returned back to the barracks. I'm just going to slip it in here that Quint did end up talking to... Quint did end up talking to, I think it was Julius. Yeah, I think it was Julius. To ask Maven to bring that conversation back up to William. Because Maven's way more trustworthy than Quint, so... It might get more grounding if someone else brings it up. But that was a bit later. We had gone back, and the place hadn't burned down. The place hadn't blown up, and so on and so forth. Everyone was chilling, and we had come back to see that little... I'll say cliques, little camaraderies had popped up in our absence. Certain people were hanging out and talking to each other, cross-compound cooperations and things like that. I don't remember exactly who was with who, aside, I think, Kadash and Erica, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. We had some conversations when we came back. I don't remember what they were, though.
Jericho had one with we told Oriole
Riker?
Nah.
Is Gregor who talked to Riker.
Yeah,
it was Greg.
I
Okay.
mean,
I wanted to kick someone's
Gotcha.
ass. Itching for a fight.
Mhm.
Oriole told everyone that one of the weekdays bowed out, or to stay on their toes. Jericho had a talk with Poye. Bradford spoke to Daron. Got to look at his dragon tooth, and that is not a euphemism. And
that one got me. That one got me.
he had Bradford, as I recall, had asked like, "Oh yeah, can I see that when I try to identify the kind of dragon it came from?" And Darren was like, "Yeah, so long as you give it back." Should have made a run
I was
for
like,
it.
I'm not gonna steal your shit, Daron.
Good news, guys. I stole Daron's weapon right before the
The exhibition match.
the
Bad
would've been
news,
a good
they're
one.
going to beat my ass.
But
With what weapon?
With the weapon of
you,
the other guys you brought.
what do you determine from the dragon tooth?
Let me see what I wrote down real quick. There was a mention of it.
I think you determined that it died after the fall, correct?
Yes. There's some
I remember that.
profane, ominous, eerie energy coming from it. It's a tooth of a dragon, which is odd. For reference, I had to roll a survival check, and I rolled a natural fucking 1. But with all the modifiers and stuff, it did go up to, I think, 18 in the end. So it's like, it's natural 1, but it's still pretty damn useful. Strange energy coming off of it. It's a tooth, which is kind of uncommon. Most of the time, draconic weapons are artifacts that are made in some way. Don't know exactly off the top of my head. But they're purposely made. Not, it is the remnants of a dragon, which this is, as we said, a tooth from something that fell before. Or after. I have an idea of what it might be, and I don't want it to be true. I think that's about all I could really determine about the tooth. It does
Daron
help
also...
with... Hold on.
It does help with what?
It does help with his headaches, and he more specifically pointed out it prevents him from being frightened or charmed. So there's the idea that maybe it's something about the perpetuation of battle. It lessens the impact that the blood magic is doing to his being. Something along those lines.
Darren also pointed Redford in the direction of Kadash. Wait, is that her name? Kadash?
Kadash,
Yep.
yeah.
Because she has a dragon something dagger or other. But,
she has a helmet.
Unfortunately, that
Pietro, I think, has a
the helmet.
dagger.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
I
unfortunately,
will say, before I get too far away from it, he can't be charmed or frightened, and it helps him when it helps deal with his battle headaches. Almost like it makes him mindless, like mindless rage. So if that thing gives him a fucking berserker barbarian feature, I'm concerned about what else it gives him.
Was it Cleanse or somebody was talking to one of the Black Tower people, and that's kind of how we started getting the
Seraph
rally
initiated.
together.
I was talking to Julius, and he and Antonius Scorpionstorm was across the way.
Right. Okay, yeah. Scorpionstorm involved themselves in the conversation. That's what it was.
Yeah. And then that eventually rolled into us just checking with Julius, like, we're all here and stood together. Is now the time to just drag it into the light. And we did! We did. We assembled all the compounds for a quick check-in, as well as a bit of a declaration. Captain Riker sort of led us into that conversation, captain as he is. And we laid all of the facts out for them about how Watchmen were dying in the field under peculiar circumstances, about the upset that's happening here at the exhibition match at the behest of the Grand Watcher, that the Watch is compromised, and that we are conspiratorially, but now openly, I guess, trying to deal with it, to combat the Grand Watcher and his machinations. A lot of people were wondering, I don't know, how valuable they would have even been. They would be in such a civil war. As Klein said, I'm just a guy that swings a sword. But by the end of it, everyone just sort of got a chuckle about the absurdity of the situation. And I think everyone bought in, yeah? There wasn't a single person that...
Yeah, and then there was
40 or something, right?
It was 50.
Yeah, you got up to a 40
years.
or 50. It was something ridiculous.
With a natural
added
20
all the
that we
things.
modified to fucking 50. We got bonuses from places and people that we didn't know we were going to get bonuses from.
So after, the Clint speech and, the agreements or, similar statements, affirming what Clint just said, it was everybody put their hand in the middle, but it was their weapons, and we did a cheer to the new watch.
Mm-hmm.
New watch.
Warrior salute. Anything else happened that night?
Bradford talked to Eric and Kadash,
right?
And we all gave him shit for it.
Right.
Both his feet in his
Thanks,
mouth at the
guys.
same time.
That was a new weird friendship built on reciprocal bitchiness. But hey, you know, I'm happy they found someone of the cut from the same cloth as themselves, you know, to be friends with.
Yeah, it definitely came off at first of, did Erica do something to control Kadash? Why are they literally talking and saying, I'm afraid? It was literally like fight or flight reflexes kicking in of like, something is wrong. And then it's just like, oh no, they just hate each other equally, but can respect that and are having a little girl time before murder time.
Oh, you so.
And then Bradford just kind of got chat on. And I was like, oh, cool. He did kind of learn about Kadash's... Well, he didn't learn about the helmet, because he was like, you're not going to tell me. And she's like, of course I'm not going to tell you. And it's like, yeah, that's fair. But afterwards, maybe. And it's like, maybe. But yeah, they have like some draconic thing that's unrelated to Dayron stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then, unless we're forgetting anything pressing, next day came around and it was our turn for the exhibition. Riker went off to get ready for what? Yeah, Riker went off to get ready for his own duel with Captain
Diana.
Diana, thank you.
Yeah.
We did pass by the I guess regroup with the underclass before we went to our starting location. Much to the chagrin of our chaperone.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
Got our magic items from them. Spoke to them about Michael, who's still missing.
Victor revealed that he had an idea where Michael was, or but didn't divulge it, because if he had divulged it, everyone else would have stayed in the arena to search for him. Also, no, Garth will be in the middle of the exhibition match. We debriefed with our underclass and sent them on their merry way, making sure that Victor had acquired the right talent from Clint, and they can help us stream snipe. Gregor had run ahead to go talk to Goliad and the Ravagers, and Goliad basically offered, you know, if you want to find out the truth of your people, come with me. But Gregor is like, I have a match to go to.
Yeah, sorry, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe later, you know. Rain check?
I don't mean to detract from things. I'm not like being gaslit, right? This isn't how Iceland's spelled, right? On the map, isn't the L before the Y? Was it always like this?
No, I just suck at spelling.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, no way. I've been typing wrong this whole time. Okay.
Iceland.
Iceland.
Just don't go out looking back at the VODs. I promise.
Yeah, I was right the whole time. Or the democracy officer would call you.
Iceland, you need to stick close to us.
We did. Speaking of Iceland, she is with us. We are the her defenders in the exhibition match. I don't think anything else happened after us regrouping with our underclass and things like that. We just got on the boat. We did get to see I'll call it our walk-on montage for like us and the Blood Cloaks. Dayron's was interesting because all the stuff he did. Because for all of ours, like, there were things that were a bit inaccurate, so had some artistic liberties taken. Erica particularly was annoyed by hers and the fact that she doesn't need to wear glasses like some sort of physiologically weaker person. But in the case of Dayron, we all just confirmed, no, he does that. None of that's a lie. So he was the only one, as far as I recall, that was true to his walk-on montage.
They really had Erica doing that.
Yeah, she was doing that. From that,
I think our match got started, right?
Yeah, like
So-
right off the jump, we went out into the opening box zone, and then Red Fox was waiting on one of the
Mesas?
rocky plateaus,
Mhm.
mesas, and laid out her challenge to Gregor, or Wolf as she called him.
Is this a mesa?
Gregor was the first one out, and she immediately got cancered by injury.
That's true. I almost forgot about
We still need to find. Lucian got sniped out of the sky.
By
Blind.
volleys of gunfire.
Yeah. From dear old
They were all
nomads.
Nomad
the
Fat.
bird. Nomad's not
Pietro?
the bird. Pietro's the bird.
Pietro
They're both the
is-
bird.
They're both the
That's
bird.
kind of the
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Bird,
Yes,
bird,
no.
bird.
Pietro and Thatcher.
Thatcher.
Mhm.
Thatcher. Sniped Lucian out of the sky, and we immediately needed to pick him back up, so they didn't tag him. And now we are in the process of putting a plan, I guess, into motion of Gregor charging these two on this big mesa. Clint coming up from behind them while invisible. Jericho redirecting to close distance with Red Fox. Pietro was going to use his tier 1 flare to shoot himself towards Red Fox, but Gregor did this cool thing where he redirected it because it's a lightning bullet and basically caught him. And what did you say to him? What did Gregor say to him?
Gregor said, "I didn't say you could leave."
Yeah. Which he was not too happy to hear those words.
Uh-oh.
It's a very good way to start the match.
Mhm.
For the audience, at least.
Indeed. I think that seems like everything, right?
Yes.
We did have Caster and I'll call them the Hunter crew because they were going to go hunt Dark Ones. The first target is not a Dark One; it's actually Indri. We did also see, or we didn't see it. Victor also fed us the info that Dayron was engaged against Draugr because the camera perspective kept cutting between the ambush here as well as Dayron 1v1ing Draugr.
Mm-hmm.
So we do know that. But aside from that, yeah, I think that's it. Lucian does want to get his licks in, so hopefully Lucian, you can pilot him, and he gets some crits going for him.
Right, he was part of our 4-person attack squad on their squad.
I think it's mostly because he has like range, unlike Poe and Bradford.
Yeah. So it's a situation of like, this squad is not good at getting into this fight, so we're gonna make sure this main target doesn't get fucked up. We also have these two locations. I can't remember if you mentioned it, but those two locations, there are Dark Ones.
Yeah.
Because Bradford went,
And the plan is we're gonna still go forward. We will detour over here to the Bloody Island. Don't worry. We're gonna go this way, and our hunter crew can go this way. Because there's no point in them going this way and just bumping into Dayron himself, or any targets in between are gonna get poached by Dayron. So it's just more feasible to go this way.
Mm-hmm.
or if they have their own method of getting across the water to go that way. Well, we can't confirm it.
If this counter attack goes well, we'll be taking 4 of their 11 off the board, or 4 of their 10 off their board, nearly halving their fighting force.
And it's not like they're weak pieces either.
If we take Red Fox out, I will be genuinely surprised. I'm hoping we get her down.
Yeah, she's.
But I'll be satisfied. I'll be satisfied with 3. My biggest concern is why Yindri wouldn't put himself in a compromised position without some way out. But But I'm also confident in our smarty pantses over here to counteract them.
Smart squad.
Yeah, those guys have water walking.
Yeah, I think we all do, except the people that already naturally sort of can do it already.
Yeah.
With swim speeds or literally monks super speeds and so on and so forth. And Lucian, is fly a concentration spell? It is, right?
It is.
Oh.
Does he have fly the spell, or does he have an object that's letting him fly?
I think he has. Does he have a board or jet boots or something?
Yeah.
No.
I
don't know.
actually don't recall now.
I know we asked if Captain Corvallis and that crew would help us, and it's like, no. Unlike our underclassmen, this is like a fair watch match. So I know Corvallis himself didn't allow it, but I don't know if Lucian had cooked something up with Corvallis, but was technically his design that he's using, or if he just has the fly spell going.
He does. Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got him. Yep.
Okay.
He's got boots.
Okay. So he's flying, but not fly spell flying. Roger. That's super important.
So then, if he gets knocked unconscious, the spell would just deactivate while he's unconscious, right? It wouldn't just like have his boots just have him dangling in the air.
Yeah.
I am bringing back. Oh wait, you found another one?
Yeah. Go ahead and throw that in there.
Yep.
I found 3. 3 of them are really like in the same style.
Oh. Okay.
I was telling Jacob I didn't find my favorite one though, which is Hunter Be Hunted.
Right.
They're all kind of ratty sounding. I'm not gonna lie.
Steel for humans.
What in
That would
the
fit.
fuck?
That would fit our
There
fight.
it is.
That would fit
There
this
it
fight.
is.
And look at this map.
I got even better.
Maces are always such weird things.
I did so much research. Like, what can I put on top of a mesa? But they're really just barren.
Yeah,
it's
they're
a flat rock.
if I remember correctly, Mesa translates to table, and they are super barren, but really good for setting up defenses on, as the Native American community can attest. There's one which has like a mile walk up to it, like a one-way walk up to it, out there somewhere.
You like
And
that
I'm like-
sniper outpost?
Yeah. Good touch.
You can shoot for ducks out here.
The little German boys.